It's an average day. 50 people suffer serious injuries, which means brain damage or loss of a limb in Texas. That's 60 families that will have to go through this tragedy today, and another 60 tomorrow. The number one killer of people who are age 1 to 35 in Texas is traffic crashes. And that is more that in the nationwide, it's just 1 to 14, whereas for us, it's all 1 to 35. And crashes cost Texans quite a lot more than congestion. According to TTI, the economic cost of congestion is about $14 billion a year, according to National Safety Council members. The economic cost of crashes is $38 billion. The comprehensive cost is $99 billion. And that's when you add in the years of life lost and pain and suffering. 34% of our deaths and serious injuries happen at intersections. About 1,000 people a year die. So 2 people will die today at intersections. About 7,000 will be seriously injured. Your strategic highway safety plan, which hopefully you got, I cut out the section on intersection improvements. The traffic safety professionals of the state of Texas are desperately asking you to do something to fix these intersections and to save lives, including the measure, there's a little sticky note, including the idea that we should install red light cameras to save lives. And so this bill, it's a slap in the face to our transportation safety professionals who are saying that this will kill people. So I hope you will reconsider, and I hope you will oppose this bill and put some money into safety at intersections. We need to, yes, we desperately need to fix our intersections, and we need money to do that. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Let you name for the record, sir.
All right, thank you. My name is Calvin Tillman. I'm from Valley View, Texas. I'm representing myself and I support Senate Bill 653. I apologize for the poor penmanship card. I'm trying to better in the future on that. Thank you, Chairman and Committee, for hearing my testimony. I also want to thank Senator Hall for carrying this important legislation. I also served 8 years as a local elected official. I never have actually participated in the contracting aspect of a red light camera. However, I have seen these contracts, and as has been previously discussed, most do have language that only allows the municipality to get out of the contract if state legislation is implemented that prohibits the use of these cameras. I've spoken with some local officials who would like to seize the use of these cameras but are unable to because of these contracts. You've heard earlier there was some testimony about cameras being deactivated. This is likely due to contractual obligations where they have to have at least 1 camera in operation. On a personal note, like you, Chairman Nichols, I was unfortunate enough to have to deal with this law. I sold the vehicle, and prior to the new owner registering the vehicle in their name, they received a red light camera, but it was me that received the ticket. In Texas, there's a form you can complete that will exonerate you from liability whenever you sell a vehicle. I completed that form. However, it still took a considerable amount of time to get this issue resolved, and as previously mentioned, I was presumed guilty. If these cameras are so vital as we've been stated in testimony today, I don't understand why we can't make a fair process and be presumed guilty. To resolve this issue, I first called the number that was on the letter that I received, which was the Arizona company who provided these cameras. After being threatened with collections for a crime I didn't commit, I eventually was referred to the police officer that had authority over this program, and I was required to send him the release and liability form, also a bill of sale, and after several weeks, the ticket was removed. Frankly, it probably took more than $75 of my time to go through this process to clear my name for a ticket that I didn't get, for a crime I didn't commit. And so with that, I encourage you to support Senate Bill 653. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Darrell Bowles. I'm the Chief of Police for Falcone Sites. I've been there for 4 years. Red light cameras were, I didn't know about them until right before I started working there when I received one in the mail. Fortunately, it was my son. I looked at it. It's really good evidence. Made a right turn on red. He slowed down, but he didn't stop. What I have seen since I have been in Balcones Heights is a reduction. I know that there's a lot of studies that are done out there, but in Balcones Heights, the contract was made in 2006. I believe the cameras installed in 2007. We've had a 70% reduction in traffic accidents at these intersections. I know that the rear end collisions have been coming up a lot. So we pulled the data for those, and we're having a 8 to 10% reduction in rear end collisions that could have been caused by a red light each year. We're kind of like Leon Valley. Fredericksburg Road is where the majority of our lights are, our cameras are. And it's a state highway, so we have no control over that. We're surrounded by San Antonio. The TxDOT has asked San Antonio to take care of the lights. So we don't have anything to do with the lights and setting the times or anything like that. So they're going to be, as per Texas requirements. Yellow lights are there for a reason, and it's to let you know it's getting ready to turn yellow. But it's almost like okay, you've got a couple of more seconds before it's going to turn red. See if you can beat it. One thing that I think is real important, and I am not a politician. I'm not a very politically correct person sometimes when it comes to dealing with politics, but I do know, and I've heard many times, that the state does not like the federal government coming in and telling you how to run the state. And I really think it's important that the cities and the citizens are left to decide if this is something that we need. It's a force multiplier for us. We're a very small department. We're 7/10 of a square mile, surrounded by 400 square miles of San Antonio. Stuff doesn't stop at those city limits. It's all coming into San Antonio. Fredericksburg Road, I won't be able to find the numbers, but we have several 100,000 cars a day that are coming through Balcones Heights. And these are from TxDOT's numbers. I apologize, I made copies for everybody and I forgot to bring them. But I will email those to y'all with the data that we have. But we have seen a big reduction in accidents, rear end collisions. That's about it.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, panel, for coming.
Thank you.
We're going to have 3 more witnesses. Senator Hancock's going to call them up here in just a second. We have a number of cards that have been turned in for or against, some of both. Rather than read them off, there's no objection. We'll have them written into the record. And then also staff, you might want to get your members to start coming this way. We're going to, after these 3, we're going to hear 3 bills, kind of record speed. And then we're going to vote. We're going to vote on pending legislation and the ones y'all can indicate that we're going to vote on.
I think at this time we'll bring up Susan DeLeon, Adrian Patterson, and CJ Christian.
Good morning. Thank you for letting us have this opportunity to speak before you. I'm Suzanne DeLeon. I'm the mayor of the city of Balcones Heights. You just heard from our police chief. I was on the council when we brought the cameras in 2006, and they set up several test cameras for a month. And at one location, right on Fredericksburg Road in Hillcrest, they were showing that there was over 150 cars ran the light within 1 hour time period. So that was a good indicator to us that this is something that we needed to bring into our city. As the chief told you, we're a small city. We're less than 1 square mile. We're surrounded by San Antonio. And we have a small force. There may be 3 officers on the road at any given time, and they cannot be every place, even though our city is small. We are a small city, but we have big city issues since we are surrounded by San Antonio. The chief told you that we have Fredericksburg Road is a major corridor through our city, and that is the TxDOT highway. You previously heard from Leon Valley as well. They recently installed the cameras because of the situations that they were having in their city, and you heard the overwhelming stats showing that they have a tremendous reduction in the red light camera running situations. And what I see is that the cameras are changing people's driving behaviors. They are obeying the law now, and they're stopping at the red lights. And just like we have codes and ordinances in our cities that need to be monitored and enforced, driving habits need to be enforced as well. And we see that the driving habits are changing in our from and y'all are hearing that today. I just wanted to share as well, I got a text yesterday from Representative Diego Bernal's office, and he is no longer a co-author of Representative Strickland's bill, HB 1631, which bans local authorities from implementing photographic traffic enforcement systems. And he spoke with a colleague in the Texas House of Representatives who informed him of the benefits that traffic cameras have had on driving behavior, particularly in school areas where children frequently commute. Public safety is a priority of our office, of his office, and ours as well. And we are, he says, we are now more aware of the role that traffic cameras can play in increasing the safety of our streets. So we respectfully request that you take all this testimony given today, take it into consideration, and realize that our cities need these as a safety factor into our cities, and we ask that you will consider voting against this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Oh, I guess it's me. All right. My name is CJ Grisham. I am here on behalf of myself testifying on this bill. I support the bill in the sense of getting rid of red light cameras or revenue light cameras, as I like to call them instead. However, because of the clause that I think was changed where there's now a grandfather clause in there, I can't fully support nor oppose the bill. So I support it on the sense that we are trying to abolish these revenue light cameras, but we need to do so immediately. I got a red light revenue camera ticket many years ago from Killeen, up where I live, and the ticket I got, I read through, or the paper that I got, and it said, do not contact the courts. This was a private company that's sending me a bill for something that I didn't contract with them on. If we have a problem in this state, there's a reason we have police forces. They are there to enforce the law. If we're gonna go to robots, then let's get rid of the police forces and just put robots on every street. And then if there's some crime that was committed, then we can have some guy that stands behind the robot looking at the robot's video, going and trying to track down these people. This is about, if there's a problem in an intersection, I don't care what anybody says, this is about revenue. Look at every city's budget. They count on these red light tickets for money. It's written into their budgets how much revenue they're going to get out of these things. You can't interrogate a camera. And when you've got a police officer on the scene at an incident where a person may have rolled through a stop, may have come to a red light perhaps and got ticketed because he was a second or a half a second past the line, well, a police officer can explain and talk to that individual, and he or she can explain exactly what happened leading to that without having to spend the money, the time, the effort to go to court and defend themselves. We talk about due process, but there's no human involved in this. So are we going to automate everything that we do? Or are we just going to go ahead and let machines do everything, and then we have some guy behind a 2D screen deciding what something looks like? So it might not have been a crime. Perhaps there was an emergency, but that person now has to, instead of explaining to the officer on the scene, explain what was going on at that time, and also defend whether or not he or she was in that vehicle. We're ticketing a vehicle. We're not ticketing a person, because now the owner of that vehicle gets the ticket, but the infraction and the camera is only catching a machine right there. So now I have to go and defend it's not me. I don't have to go to a court for any other crime and say, no, it was somebody else, except for that one, without probable cause. So please against, or for this bill, excuse me.
Thank you. Thanks.
My name is Adrienne Patterson, and sorry, I always get emotional. Back in 2013, during the day, someone ran for red light while I was walking in the crosswalk with a walk sign. I now have a traumatic brain injury as a result, and traumatic brain injury affects anxiety, coordination, socialization, personality, exhaustion, relationships, ability to function, depression, seizures, confusion, headaches, decision-making, contemplation, emotions, and vision. These are things that I do on a daily basis as a result of being hit by someone running the red light. I am different now. I am different than I was before. I am adamantly against this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else wishing to speak on for or against Senate Bill 653 or any substitute? Hearing none, public testimony is not closed. Thanks, Senator Hall.
Chair, there was.
Mr. Chairman, I had submitted a card on this bill.
Come on. Come on forward. Go ahead. Go ahead. Share with us your name, who you represent, what your position is on the bill.
My name is Rick Briscoe, and I'm representing myself. I'm a resident of San Antonio and frequently drive through some of the additional municipalities that San Antonio surrounds. I am testifying on the bill rather than for or against it. I favor the abolition of red light cameras, but do not support grandfathering. That creates, when you grandfather provisions like that, it creates an unmanageable, intolerable hodgepodge of law. The law should be uniform, whatever it may be, across the state. I am opposed to red light cameras, both because the procedures involved are repugnant to the American system of justice. There is no requirement for a citizen to prove their innocence. You have incentivized private corporations to issue tickets. If this truly is a safety function, it's a governmental function and should be run by government. If it's a revenue question, the revenue should go to the state to disincentivize cities putting their thumb on the scales. Let's talk about what a red light actually means. It means that you may no longer, under state law, it means you may no longer enter the intersection after the signal has turned red. It's very easy for a camera to lie. It shows a car in the intersection when the red light came on. That's not running red light. In the 1970s, the state law was changed from where you had to clear the intersection or you were, quote unquote, running the red light, because that was an extremely dangerous law. People floored it to make it through the intersection, and when there was a collision, it was horrendous. This, in my view, is a revenue proposition, not a safety one. And with all due respect to our friends in the law enforcement communities, we oppose it for those reasons.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Anybody else wishing to speak on for or against Senate Bill 653?
Why didn't you shut him off a minute early?
Now, public testimony is not closed. All right.
He shut you off like
And
50
we're
seconds early.
leaving the bill pending, Senator Hall, at this time. This time, the
Good
chair
testimony,
lays out
good
Senate
job.
Bill 1091
Okay, let's
by
go.
Chairman Nichols, and recognizes the chairman to explain the bill.
Members, this is the veteran, related to the veteran toll discount program some time ago. We gave toll authorities the ability to, on a veteran's plate, give them a discount or do not shorten the toll.
What's going on?
We're averaging 4.5 plates per veteran.
I almost
now.
missed it.
Yes.
I almost missed it. I didn't realize that was today, and I heard about
Join
it.
us for lunch? Well, like right now.
I've got gun bills I've got to sit in, right downstairs. Hey, so we just got done with the red light, Bob Hall's red light camera ticket hearing. So here, this is how you know when government is out of control. All of the people that are, well, most of the people that are testifying in favor of these revenue light tickets, I'm sorry, red light tickets, no, revenue light tickets, are government officials and the people who benefit from the revenue of these revenue light tickets. So you see government officials, you see these chiefs of police, because guess where that money goes? It goes right back into their departments. Chief Salvaggio came up to me. I thought this was kind of funny. He came up to me and you know, shook my hand. He's like, and so I, you know, just said, "Hey, how you doing, CJ?" And I said, "Oh, you're here to protect your revenue?" He says, "No, I'm here to protect you." And I says, "We're not doing a good job at that." And so, anyway.
You need a button.
I do need a button, yes. We got some red light cameras tickets here.
Hey, stranger.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much. I heard your name was like, what?
Yeah, I'm actually right downstairs. There's some gun bills being heard.
Right.
And I saw Rachel saying they just laid out the red light ticket. I was like, is that right now? Well, heck, I'm here. I'm going to run up there.
Right.
All right. Get my red light, red light camera. He does. But anyway, I thought it was funny that the Leon Valley chief of police comes up to me and says hello. And I asked him, I said, "Are you here to protect your revenue?" I said, "You're here to protect your revenue." He says, "No, I'm here to protect you." And I said, "Well, you're doing a poor job of that." So anyway.
Oops.
Yeah. So anyway, what you saw there is government trying to protect its money and the people trying to protect their freedom. That's the difference between who supports these bills and who opposes these bills. Now, you're always going to have the victim class. There's always someone that says, "Oh, I was a victim, so government helped me." A camera would not have, as sad as that story is, and I sympathize and I empathize with people who have been in an accident at a red light or at an intersection. The fact of the matter is, a red light camera would not have stopped that. So, and quite frankly, in many cases, a red light camera will actually contribute to the accident happen that wouldn't have happened before, because now you've got somebody slamming on the lights.
Fact.
That's a fact. You've got someone slamming on the brakes to avoid hitting that red light, and now the car behind you is slamming into your rear. I did a lot of research on this because we talked about it on our radio show. Well, what do you have to say there, Kelly?
They're unconstitutional. They're unfair. They can't prove who's driving. That's the big issue for me. They can't prove who's driving. So they can only.
And you have to go in and prove that it wasn't you driving.
Well, if you do that, but sometimes we just don't pay it off.
Yeah. Well, you know
Like
what I
in Tarrant
did?
County.
I didn't say this because I hate the clock in there. It goes by way too fast. I didn't talk about the fact of what I did with my clean ticket. I wadded it up and threw it in the trash.
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Trash your ticket.
That's right. I don't know if that's backwards. It looks backwards here, but I don't think it's backwards on the video. I think they're seeing
I
it.
look better backwards.
Yeah.
Camera tickets are unenforceable. Never, ever pay a red light camera ticket. They're completely unenforceable. Nothing can happen.
Don't even acknowledge them. Don't even call and say, "Hey, I'm not doing anything." Just completely ignore it, and nothing will happen. Hey, brother, take care. Thanks for being here, guys. All right. So I'm gonna close this down. We've got some gun bills downstairs. Take care. Thanks for all the work that you do.
We're trying.
So, all right. Take care. And I'm just going to reiterate this one more time before I close this out. The people that support this bill are the people that benefit from it, government and police forces. The people that oppose, they support it for revenue only. And the people that oppose it for liberty only. It's about liberty and due process versus government power, authority, and stealing more of your money. All right, guys.